What's a terrible addiction that no one really mentions? Buying things. Just always going to the store or shopping online. Compulsive buying. Always being in a relationship and not being capable of being alone. Overworking. You're not a hero, you're a victim. Doom scrolling. Buying a bunch of fresh produce with the full intention of eating healthy, only to let it slowly die in the fridge while you order takeout. It's like, yes, I'd love a side of guilt with that pizza, please. Controlling other people. I've had certain people do that so much to me, as though everything they do or think they know is the one correct way to do anything, dismissing my experience as invalid, talking over the top of me, being rude TF about it, and treating with utter disrespect. I think it's an addiction to power. Workaholism. Takes over every part of your life until you die early of a stress-induced heart attack in your mid-50s. No one even wants to deal with your funeral. Processed foods and junk food. Solitude. Sometimes the bullshit of other people forces you to spend time alone. The quiet and the clam becomes very addicting. Yet you know it's still toxic, but don't really have much of a choice. Overthinking. It creeps up on you, and suddenly you're stuck in loops, replaying the same scenarios in your head. People rarely talk about how exhausting it really is. TikTok/endless scrolling social media feeds. Shit has irreparably fucked my brain. I have to watch everything on max speed now. Sometimes even a 1 to 2 minute TikTok video is too long for me, let alone a 10+ minute YT video. Shopping. It sounds crazy until you deal with it. Limerence. Here's one I haven't seen someone mention yet. Exercise. People don't think of it as an addiction because it's generally good for you, but once you get past the point of diminishing returns, being a gym rat just eats up your time. An old friend of mine would get cranky if she didn't get in 4 to 5 hours of working out every single day, and she didn't listen when I told her that doing that much wasn't necessary for being healthy. Food addiction. There are so many above me that are mentioned all the time: porn, internet, alcohol, but food addiction doesn't really get mentioned in real life and isn't taken seriously as others. I'm almost embarrassed to say it in real life since people just mock me. At times I've basically felt like I was eating myself to death and didn't have control over it. You never feel full unless you overeat shitty food. People call you disgusting or gross when you mention your experiences as a food addict, i.e., overeating to the point you throw up. RuneScape. TikTok or similar short video streams. You get caught in a death scroll that steals your attention and focus away from everything around you for hours at a time. Just like a drug. It's absolutely insane that this has not been brought to the attention of the public psyche. The inability to stop connecting electronically for even 5 minutes. Unless you are looking for directions, there is no need to connect while simply walking. There is no need to have your phone with you in the shower, and most concerning is the inability to not check your phone while driving. I think the last thing should be prosecuted more vigorously than drunk driving. The same dopamine reward structure is in place for this electronic addiction as is in place for every other addiction. It's a societal problem, and like most addicts, people will fight against losing their constant connectivity, even violently if they feel it will help. Gambling. People do crazy things if they've convinced themselves there is a slim, but not too slim chance of being rich. Sport addiction, in particular running or triathletes. I do this as a hobby and am addict a bit myself, but what I see in some extremes is truly shocking, especially in the ultra world. Some that completely destroy their body and yet still cannot stop. Knew someone who had several fractures in their hip and kept running. Hours and hours of sport each day, sacrificing family and jobs and just everything in their life except sport. It's usually not seen as a problematic addiction because it's good for you, but it can 100% destroy your body and relationships with others. Sport is like a drug. Working hard on controlling my addiction, and it's been fine, but it takes a real effort. Some of us just thrive off those endocrines. Screens. People can't live without screens anymore. Phones, tablets, TVs, computers, smartwatches. I'll get hate for this, but the people who are genuinely addicted to gaming. Caffeine. Personally, I never felt more energetic than since I stopped drinking coffee. I used to have energy crashes throughout the day. Now I feel mostly energized, don't need coffee to wake up, and digest food much better. The withdrawal symptoms when I stopped after 15 years of drinking it daily, sometimes 5 times a day, were quite strong. It's known to be difficult from 1 week to a month for some people. A lot more people these days seem to be addicted to outrage. In the US, it's either people on the right wing believing stories about evil Democrats or people on the left wing getting upset at the stuff MAGA politicians get up to. Even if you're upset about something real and serious like climate change, it can't be healthy to read stories about it every day and get into arguments online about it. I think I heard those arguments give people a spike in dopamine, though, which is why people keep engaging in them. TikTok. Kids these days are really screwed. Nutella. It's an insidious addiction. You find yourself putting it on more and more foods just to get that flavor. It's expensive and destructive. Smoking cannabis. I've been told it's not addictive, but I saw firsthand how it dominates and controls someone's life and how much it isolates them and causes problems in all of the relationships in their lives. Validation from strangers. Porn. Hoarding. /DPH that place is wacky. People abusing thousands of mg of Benadryl. Some crazy posts over there. They all see a Hatman. Filter by top all time. Crazy addiction. Victimhood. Impulse buying / terrible money management. Doom scrolling. The compulsion to continuously consume negative or distressing news online. It can lead to heightened anxiety, stress, and feelings of helplessness. It's easy to overlook because it often happens unconsciously. And in today's hyper-connected world, it's difficult to escape the constant stream of bad news. Nose spray. If you use it for too long, you will become incapable of breathing through your nose without it. Complaining. Sex. Doesn't matter the gender. Once you fall into this, you basically become a monster who just sees people as a release. Procrastination. It is the mother of all addictions. Dopamine feedback loop from various forms of electronic entertainment and social media sites.